Hello boys and girls, today we're going to be learning how to write our very own acrostic poem. An acrostic poem is a type of poetry where the first or last letters in a line spell out a particular word or phrase. The type we're going to do today is the simplest form of an acrostic poem where the first letters of each line spell out a word or a phrase. So today we're going to create our own poem and we're going to use a sloth as inspiration for our writing. You're going to use the book we've been reading, The Sloth Who Came to Stay, to create your very own acrostic poem. You can use the facts from the book or find out some more information about sloths by clicking the links in this week's timetable. But first, let's have a look at some examples of some other acrostic poems. The first one I have here is about a butterfly. So let's have a look at the key parts of this poem. You can see down the side here, the word butterfly has been written. That tells us what each phrase needs to start with, okay? So the first one has to start with a B, the second one has to start with a U, the third one has to start with a T, and we keep going down. Something else to remember, make sure that you're writing more than one word to describe your topic. So the person who has written this poem has made sure that they've got a phrase to describe something about the butterfly. I really like this one here with the letter T, teeth to chew through and come out of the shell. It's telling us what the butterfly's teeth are used for and where they might be coming out from. All of the other phrases, they also describe something about the butterfly, so that's a really important thing to remember. What you're writing in your poem is actually a fact about a sloth when we come to it. Our next one here is about a sun. So same as before, all of the things that have been written are true and are a fact about a sun, or about the sun actually. So it says, sun shines brightly up in the sky, nice and warm on my face. So the person who's written this has made sure that their starting word of each phrase starts with the same letter that is in the word sun. The last one that I'm going to show you is also about an animal, and it's about a dolphin. It says, dolphins use 2 flippers, oceans leap, people love to see, has a blowhole in warm water near the equator. It's telling us how the dolphins move, where they live, again how they move, how they breathe, and also where they might be found living. Now that we've seen some examples of acrostic poems, we're going to have a go at writing one together. Now I'm going to use a bear as my example, just so you can have a look at how you might write your own poem about a sloth. Now, before I've started writing my poem, I've gone and had a look and found some facts about bears. So now I have in my mind some things that I might be able to write in my own acrostic poem. The first thing I'm going to do is write the word bear down the side of my page so that I know what letters I'm going to have to start each phrase with. So I've got my starting letters, and I'm pretty lucky with this first fact that I've got because I know that it starts with the letter B. Now, some types of bears actually build nests in trees. So that's going to be my first phrase, that bears build nests in trees. Now, when we get to the end of our phrase, making sure to put a full stop so that we know that we've finished it. And we're going to move on to the next letter of the word bear. Now, this one's an E. So I read that the bears have a really good sense of smell. So I'm going to think of a different adjective that might describe the bear's sense of smell, but it starts with the letter E. Could use fantastic. I might actually use excellent because that starts with an E. So I'm going to write that the bears have an excellent sense of smell with a full stop. Our next one is an A. Bears are really intelligent, so I would like to write that they're really smart, and I've thought of a way to make sure that it starts with an A. So I'm going to write an animal with extraordinary intelligence. Now I'm adding extraordinary because that's a really good adjective to make our writing more interesting for the person who's going to read it. I've just made a mistake. I'm going to cross it out and keep going with my sentence. Animal with extraordinary intelligence, just like that. My last fact needs to start with an R, and I read, which I thought was really cool, that bears can run as fast as a lion. Now that's pretty fast if you ask me. So I'm going to write that they have a running speed that's as fast as a lion. Is as fast and a full stop at the end there. So that is my finished acrostic poem. Before we finish completely, I'm going to go through and just double check that I've got all of my known words spelt correctly. I've got my full stops at the end, and I've tried my best. If you're using a word that you haven't used before you've tried to sound it out and see if you can hear all those sounds and write them down as best you can. I'm looking forward to seeing lots and lots of different sloth poems. So when you first start, make sure you write sloth down the side of your page, and you're going to write some phrases to describe a sloth, making sure to use more than one word and describing them as best you can.